Just explain to us why this conclusion has been drawn in terms of the inefficacy of these COVID passes.
Yeah, so good morning. I suppose it's probably worth just covering a little bit of the history on this. Mark Drakeford, the Welsh First Minister, very early last year was saying that he didn't think it was the role of government to bring these kind of vaccine passes in. And then time went on. And a bit like you've got SAGE in England, I live over in Wales, and we've got a technical advisory group that gives advice to the Welsh government on such matters. And ahead of this vote and ahead of actually being voted into kind of law in Wales, the advice itself actually said that even with careful planning, there may be no net benefit to these kind of vaccine passes. They actually said that some studies suggested that bringing them in, it could actually backfire, because when you bring these in, you could get certain parts of the population less reluctant to come forward for vaccination because they're wondering, well, what's the government doing here? And just it kind of increases the distrust in government. So that was the history going into the kind of the vote, and there was no real evidence to support them. And then obviously they came in. Now we've seen these vaccine passes across, not just in Wales, they then came into England. They're still in force in some countries now for travel, that you need to go and see them. But if we just look at what actually happened with the data here, we said, as you touched upon there, that you had to show proof of vaccination to enter the nightclubs. What happened not long after that? They closed the nightclubs because COVID cases were going up. Now, the vaccination certificate, or the COVID pass is what they were calling it as well, it also may have meant that, because we know that the vaccine itself doesn't stop the spread of the virus, it may have actually meant that some people who were maybe perhaps more vulnerable went to events because thinking that they were bomb-proof from catching COVID because of this way the vaccine pass was kind of presented. And then those who were unvaccinated actually had to get proof of a negative test to go into such events. So they may have actually been safer to have been around. So the health minister, I think, and the opposition leader, Andrew R.T. Davies, yesterday was saying that she has confirmed to him that there's no evidence to prove that they did anything, which kind of confirms what the government were told potentially would be the case beforehand.